Please follow me. The little black girl told the biker as security cameras turned toward her simultaneously. Hello everyone. Before we begin today's story, I have a small favor to ask. Please hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our channel's new videos. It's quick, free, and the best way to support us in bringing you more dramatic stories. Your support means the world to us. Where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments below. Thank you very much. Now, let's get into today's story. It was a crisp evening, the kind of night when the air felt fresh but not too cold, the kind where everything around you seemed quiet except for the sound of distant chatter and clinking glasses. Inside a local biker bar, a group of riders were finishing their drinks, winding down from a long day of work. They had no idea that a moment of calm would soon turn into an urgent call for help. In the corner of the room, a little black girl burst through the door, her breath shallow, her face streaked with tears. She was small for her age, no older than 10, her braids bouncing wildly as she ran. Her eyes darted around the room before they locked onto the group of bikers sitting at the counter. They were used to all sorts of people passing through their bar, but this was different. The child was frantic, her voice trembling as she approached the nearest biker, a tall man with a thick beard and tattoos that covered his arms like a second skin. Please, follow me, she cried, her voice barely above a whisper as she grabbed his sleeve. They took my brother. The biker froze, his beer halfway to his lips. He looked into her wide, desperate eyes, not sure what to make of the situation. In the years he'd spent as a biker, he'd seen his fair share of trouble, but nothing like this. He stood up slowly, the clink of his boots on the floor resonating through the quiet bar. The other bikers watched him, unsure of what to do. But one glance at the little girl's tear-streaked face told them everything they needed to know. This wasn't a time for questions. This was a time for action. Where? He asked, his voice low and steady. The girl pointed toward the street, her tiny fingers shaking. Down the alley. They drove off in a silver car. I couldn't stop them. Without another word, the biker grabbed his leather jacket, and the group followed him outside. The sun had already set, casting long shadows on the pavement as they stepped into the cool night air. The little girl led them toward a narrow alleyway at the end of the block. The bikers moved quickly, their boots pounding against the sidewalk as they followed her every step. The street was empty, the usual hum of the city now replaced with the eerie silence of the night. As they neared the alley, the girl stopped and pointed to a silver sedan parked under a flickering streetlight. The car was running, its headlights dim, and the sound of the engine purred softly in the otherwise still night. Without hesitation, the bikers surrounded the car, their eyes scanning the area for any sign of danger. The little girl clung to the biker's arm, her small fingers gripping tightly, as if she knew that the next few moments would change everything. The tension in the air was thick. Every biker stood at the ready, their instincts kicking in as they prepared for whatever came next. They weren't sure what kind of trouble they were walking into, but one thing was certain. No one was going to hurt this little girl. Not on their watch. I can feel the weight of the night settling in as the bikers moved into the alley, their boots clicking sharply on the pavement. The silver sedan sat there like a lurking predator, the engine humming quietly, waiting for something to happen. The tension was palpable, thick in the air, as the little girl clung to the biker's arm. Her small fingers were shaking, and her eyes were wide with fear, but there was something else in them too. Hope. She had trusted these strangers, these bikers, to help her, and now, she was praying they would. The biker at the front, a man named Jack, scanned the surroundings, his eyes narrowed, his muscles coiled with anticipation. He had seen a lot of dangerous situations in his life, but this felt different. This wasn't just about muscle and fighting back. This was about protecting an innocent child. Stay close, he muttered to the rest of the crew. They circled around. The sedan, eyes trained on the windows. The faint smell of gasoline and motor oil mixed with the cool night air. The little girl, still trembling, pointed to the car. They took my brother, she repeated in a small, terrified voice. Jack's face hardened. The stakes had just gone up. The car was empty. The only sound was the quiet hum of the engine, and Jack could see the reflection of the streetlights in the tinted windows. But something felt off. The way the car was parked. The way it was running without anyone in it. It wasn't right. Where did they go? Jack asked, kneeling down to the girl's level. Down the street, she whispered. They went that way. She pointed toward the end of the alley. Jack stood up slowly, his eyes scanning the area. His instincts were screaming at him that this was a trap. But they couldn't leave the girl alone. They couldn't walk away. All right, let's move, Jack said to the rest of the bikers. Without a word, the group fell in behind him, their heavy boots making a rhythm against the pavement as they moved towards the end of the alley. The little girl stayed close to Jack, her small hand gripping his sleeve. The others followed, eyes darting left and right, always on alert. They passed the dimly lit buildings, their shadows stretching long in the flickering light, and turned onto a wider street. The street was quiet, too quiet for this late at night. The city was still, but something felt wrong. Jack's gaze shifted from side to side. There was no sign of life, no movement except for the sound of their boots and the distant hum of traffic. It was as if the whole world had gone silent. They've got a head start, one of the bikers said, a tall man with a beard and a skull ring. We'll catch up, Jack said, his voice cold and steady. But we need to be smart about this. They reached a crosswalk, and Jack paused, checking for any signs of movement. A faint glint of headlights caught his eye in the distance. There, Jack said, pointing to the road ahead. The headlights belonged to a car, and it was moving fast. A silver sedan. It was the same one. Jack's heart raced. He gestured for the others to spread out, and they all took positions, blending into the shadows. The sedan sped past them, its tires screeching as it made a sharp turn down another street. Jack cursed under his breath. They had no time to lose. He motioned for the bikers to follow him, and they sprinted across the street, the girl still clutching his arm. They followed the sedan through the maze of city streets, winding through alleyways and side roads. The chase was on, but Jack knew they couldn't let their guard down. The closer they got to the sedan, the more the danger intensified. Jack's mind raced. He needed a plan. They couldn't just follow the car mindlessly. They had to be ready for anything. Stay sharp, Jack said to the group. We're going in fast, no time to waste. The bikers moved in unison, their engines rumbling to life as they started the pursuit. The silver sedan was just a few blocks ahead. The night was still, but Jack's heart pounded as he watched the sedan disappear into the distance. This was just the beginning, and he wasn't about to let the little girl down. Not now. Not ever. The stakes had been raised, and the bikers were in it for the long haul. No matter what it took, they were going to make sure that little girl was safe. I can feel the urgency in the air as Jack and the bikers push harder on the throttle, chasing down the silver sedan. The night has become a blur of headlights and street signs as they race through the city's winding streets. The girl, still holding onto Jack's arm, is silent now, but her presence is a constant reminder of the stakes. They're getting closer, but Jack knows they need to stay smart. The streets are familiar, but they're also full of unexpected twists. The sedan takes another turn, and Jack signals the others to follow suit. The bikers weave in and out of traffic, their engines roaring, sending a clear message to anyone who dares to get in their way. They aren't backing down. We're close, Jack mutters to himself, the tension in his chest rising. The silver sedan suddenly swerves, cutting across lanes with reckless abandon, trying to shake off its pursuers. Jack curses under his breath and signals to Bear, the biggest of the group, to take point. Bear, block the next intersection. He orders, and Bear nods sharply before pulling ahead. The bikers follow his lead, cutting through the city's winding streets like a well-oiled machine. They've been riding together for years, and there's no question that they're family now, a family that will protect one another at any cost. They reach a wider intersection, and Jack can see the sedan up ahead. It's speeding down the road, but there's nowhere to go. The city's grid of roads has caught up with it. The bikers close in. Jack's heart beats faster, but his focus sharpens. He can't afford to make a mistake now. He gestures to the group, signaling to split up. We're going in on both sides, he says, voice steady. Don't let them out of your sight. The bikers spread out, moving swiftly and silently through the intersections, blocking off all escape routes. The sedan comes to a screeching halt as it reaches a dead end. There's no way out now. Jack pulls up alongside the car, his Harley purring like a beast waiting to strike. The other bikers do the same, surrounding the sedan with precision. Jack's hand grips the handlebar of his bike, and he can hear his heart pounding in his chest. He leans over to the girl, her face pale but resolute. Stay close, he tells her. We've got this. As Jack dismounts from his bike, the others do the same. The air is thick with tension. They've got the sedan surrounded, and there's nowhere for the people inside to go. The girl's fingers tighten around Jack's sleeve as she watches the scene unfold, her eyes wide with a mix of fear and hope. Jack approaches the sedan slowly, the other bikers taking their positions around the car. He can see the figures inside. Two men, both looking nervous, both realizing they've been cornered. Jack doesn't waste time with pleasantries. Out of the car, he orders, his voice cold and commanding. The men inside hesitate, glancing at each other, but they know better than to resist. One of the men opens the door slowly and steps out. He's tall, with a dark, scruffy beard and a tense expression. Jack's gaze doesn't waver. "Where's the girl's brother?" Jack demands, his voice low but filled with authority. The man doesn't answer right away, but his eyes dart nervously to the other biker standing nearby. Jack steps forward, his boots crunching on the gravel beneath his feet. "I said, where is he?" The man swallows hard, his hands trembling. "He's in the back," he mutters. Jack motions for the others to move in, and they open the back door of the sedan. The girl's brother, no older than 12, is lying unconscious in the back seat, his face bruised and his clothes torn. He's barely breathing. Jack's eyes narrow as he steps back, his jaw tightening. He turns to the men. "You're going to pay for this," he says, his voice low and menacing. He doesn't need to say anything more. The bikers move in, securing the men and making sure they won't cause any more harm. The girl, still clutching Jack's arm, is shaking, but there's a flicker of relief in her eyes. Her brother is safe now. They've won. But as Jack watches the men being restrained, his mind races. This isn't over. They've come a long way, but there's still more to do. This isn't just about saving one girl. It's about stopping a much larger threat. Jack knows that this is only the beginning of the battle. He looks down at the girl, his expression softening for the first time since the chase began. "You're safe now," he says gently. She nods, still holding onto his arm, but the fear is starting to fade from her face. The bikers stand tall around her, a wall of protection that no one will breach. They've completed the mission, but Jack can't shake the feeling that this is far from over. As the last of the men is cuffed and secured, Jack signals to the group. "Get the kid some help," he says, his voice steady. "We'll figure out the rest later." The night is still heavy with tension, but for now, they've won. The girl's brother is safe, and the bikers have proven once again that no one messes with their family. As they load the boy into one of the bikes and prepare to head to safety, Jack knows one thing for sure. They won't stop until every last one of the people responsible for this is brought to justice. I can feel the air growing heavier with each passing minute as Jack and the bikers prepare for the next step. The boy is safely in the back of one of the bikes, his pale face pressed against Jack's leather jacket as they ride toward the nearest hospital. The night still clings to the streets, but there's a sense of urgency in the air that none of them can ignore. The mission isn't over. The girl's brother may be safe for now, but the threat still looms large. As they make their way through the streets, the hum of the engines is a constant reminder that things are about to get more complicated. Jack glances at the girl, who's still holding onto his arm. Her grip is tighter now, a mix of fear and gratitude, but the fear hasn't fully gone away. She's seen too much in too little time. Jack knows this isn't the kind of thing you can just walk away from. "We're almost there," he tells her, his voice soft but firm. He wants to reassure her, but part of him knows that the real danger is just beginning. The bikers ride in formation, their engines roaring in unison, a powerful force that cuts through the quiet night. As they approach the hospital, Jack's mind is already racing. Who are these people who took the girl's brother? What have they been involved in? He knows that whatever it is, it's bigger than they thought. And they're not done yet. The bikers pull into the hospital parking lot, their bikes rumbling to a stop in perfect synchronization. Jack dismounts, carefully helping the girl off the bike, her eyes wide with a mix of fear and relief. The other bikers follow suit, surrounding the group like a wall of protection. They march into the hospital, the sounds of their boots echoing in the sterile hallway. The security guards look up in shock at the sight of the bikers, but Jack doesn't break his stride. He's here for one reason only, and that's to make sure the girl and her brother are safe. The receptionist's eyes widen when she sees the group, but she doesn't ask any questions. "I need to see Maya Jenkins," Jack says calmly, his voice carrying the weight of someone who doesn't ask for permission. The receptionist glances nervously at the security guards before picking up the phone. A few moments later, a nurse arrives at the front desk, her expression tense. "You must be Mr. Harland," she says. "We've been expecting you." "Where is she?" Jack asks, his tone sharp. The nurse leads them down the hallway, and Jack can feel the tension building with every step. The girl stays close to him, her small hand clutching his jacket as they walk. As they turn a corner, Jack spots her. Maya Jenkins, the girl he promised her father he would protect. She's lying in a hospital bed, her small body bruised and battered, but alive. The nurse steps aside, giving Jack and the bikers a moment with her. The girl looks up at them, her eyes cloudy but full of hope. She knows that she's not alone anymore. Jack steps forward, kneeling beside her bed. "You're safe now," he says gently, brushing a strand of hair from her face. Maya's eyes fill with tears, but she manages a weak smile. "Thank you," she whispers, her voice barely audible. Jack's heart tightens as he watches her, the weight of the promise he made to her father pressing down on him. He promised he would keep her safe, and he intends to do just that. But as he stands up, his mind begins to shift. He knows that this isn't over. Not by a long shot. There's something more going on here, something much bigger than a kidnapped child and a broken family. The bikers stand at the door, watching Maya, their faces hard but filled with silent support. Jack stands tall, his eyes dark with determination. "We're not done," he says, his voice low but steady. "We've got work to do. We find out who's behind this, and we make them pay." He turns to the nurse. "Get her the help she needs," he says, his tone firm. "And don't let anyone take her from this hospital. Not until we've got answers." The nurse nods quickly, her face pale. She hurries off to get the doctor, and Jack turns back to the bikers. He knows what needs to be done, and he's not about to waste any time. The bikers are already moving, their eyes scanning the room, searching for any signs of danger. Jack takes a deep breath, his mind focused. This is where the real fight begins. The promise to protect this little girl has led them here, but the road ahead is dangerous. He knows that they'll need to move quickly and carefully. The girl and her brother are safe for now, but there's no telling what kind of enemies they're about to face. Jack's hands ball into fists as he steps back from Maya's bed. This isn't over. Not by a long shot. And as he leads the bikers back out of the room, he knows one thing for sure. They're going to make sure that Maya and her family are never in danger again. I can hear the muffled sounds of the hospital as the bikers stand outside Maya's room, the weight of what's to come hanging in the air. Jack paces back and forth, the adrenaline of the chase still coursing through his veins. The little girl's brother is safe now, but the job is far from finished. His mind races, the pieces of this twisted puzzle still scattered. They may have rescued the children from immediate danger, but who is behind it all? Jack knows there's something much bigger at play. He steps outside into the cool night air, taking a deep breath. He looks up at the stars, feeling the weight of responsibility pressing down on him. "We've got work to do," he says under his breath. As he walks back toward the others, he's met with the solemn faces of his crew. The bikers have always been a brotherhood, bound by loyalty and shared experiences. But this is personal. This is about protecting a family, a promise that Jack made years ago to a fallen friend. And there's no way he's walking away from it. "We need answers," Jack says, his voice low but filled with resolve. "We're not leaving until we find out who did this and why." The others nod, understanding the gravity of the situation. They know what this means. No one gets to hurt their family without facing the consequences. The team is ready, but Jack knows they have to be smart. They've already drawn too much attention by storming the hospital. Now, they have to be careful. Jack pulls out his phone, quickly dialing a number. "Bonds," he says, his voice steady but urgent. "We need to know everything about a man named Patrick Donovan. We need every scrap of information you can get." The call ends quickly, and Jack tucks his phone back into his pocket. He looks at the bikers gathered around him. "Bonds is on it," he says. "We need to track down Donovan's movements. I'm betting he's more involved in this than we thought." One of the bikers, a tall woman with long, dark hair, steps forward. "I'll head over to the station," she says. "I've got some connections in law enforcement. I'll dig into Donovan's records. See if I can find anything suspicious." "Good," Jack replies. "Be careful. We can't afford to make any noise." The woman nods and heads out, her boots clicking against the hospital floor as she disappears into the night. Jack turns to the others. We'll split up. No one goes alone. We need to hit every lead we can. Someone find out where Donovan lives. Someone else needs to look into his connections, his friends, his family, anything that ties him to the people who've been making these kids disappear. The group disperses quickly, each biker heading off on their own mission. Jack stands alone for a moment, staring out into the dark parking lot. The night feels heavy, like the calm before a storm. He thinks about Maya and her brother, about the promises he made to their father. They're safe for now, but he knows it won't last long. Something tells him this is just the beginning. Jack pulls his jacket tighter around him, his mind still racing. He can't shake the feeling that the people behind this won't just go away quietly. They'll be back, and when they do, Jack will be ready. He has to be. Back in the hospital room, Maya is still awake, her small frame curled up on the bed, her eyes watching the door, waiting for something, anything, to change. She's scared, but at least she feels safe for the moment. She's seen enough in her short life to know that the world can be a cruel place, but right now, she knows she's not alone. The bikers have made sure of that. And though her body aches and her mind races, the girl knows she's not just a victim. She's part of a bigger story now, a story of survival and justice. Jack's promise to her father is far from over. As the night stretches on, Jack takes one last look at the dark streets outside. His crew is out there, gathering the pieces of the puzzle, and he knows that when they come together, they'll find the people responsible. They'll make sure no one else has to live through what Maya and her brother went through. This fight isn't just for them. It's for everyone who's ever been hurt, ignored, or forgotten. It's for anyone who's ever needed someone to step in and make things right. And Jack isn't going to stop until every last one of these criminals is brought to justice. I stand at the entrance of the hospital parking lot, my boots heavy on the asphalt as the rest of the crew splits off to follow their leads. The night air is cool, but I can feel the weight of the situation settling in. We've rescued Maya and her brother from immediate danger, but the real fight is only beginning. Every step we take now feels like we're walking on a tightrope. One wrong move, and everything we've fought for could come crashing down. The world outside the hospital feels like a different universe, quiet, still, but charged with the kind of tension that makes your heart beat a little faster. I pull out my phone and check for any updates. There's nothing yet. I've got to trust the team. But even with their experience, I know this isn't just a simple rescue mission. There's something much darker going on here, something bigger than we ever imagined. The two men who took Maya's brother, Patrick Donovan, and his accomplices, they're just the tip of the iceberg. We need to find out who's really behind this. And I won't rest until I know. The sun is beginning to rise, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple, but I can't afford to rest. Maya and her brother may be safe, but I know this isn't over. I'm about to find out what else is lurking in the shadows. I walk back into the hospital, feeling the weight of the promise I made to their father pressing down on me. I won't let you down, I think to myself. I push the door open and head to the security desk. The guard looks up as I approach, his eyes wide at the sight of me and the rest of the bikers behind me. You need to keep an eye on things, I say, my voice low and calm. We've got a situation. I don't want anyone to get near those kids. Especially Donovan. The guard nods, clearly not asking any questions. He's seen enough strange things tonight. I head up to Maya's room, knowing the rest of the team is still working on gathering information. The girl is safe, but she's still scared. She hasn't said much since we got her brother into the ER, but I can see the fear in her eyes. I step into her room quietly. Maya is sitting on the edge of the bed, her little hands folded in her lap. She looks up as I enter, and her eyes soften just a little. How are you feeling? I ask, trying to keep my voice gentle. She shrugs, but I can see her eyes are still full of worry. I'm okay, she whispers, her voice barely above a whisper. I sit down beside her, not wanting to crowd her, but needing to show her that she's not alone. You're safe now, I tell her, my voice firm. We won't let anything happen to you or your brother. We're going to take care of everything. She nods, but doesn't speak. I can tell she's processing everything, trying to make sense of the chaos that's turned her life upside down. I wish I could tell her that everything's going to be okay, but I know better. It's never that simple. There's a knock at the door, and one of the other bikers steps inside. I've got news, he says, his face grim. We found something. Donovan's been using a fake ID, and his ties go deeper than we thought. We've got people connected to a larger operation. There's a network we're just beginning to unravel. My heart sinks, but I don't show it. This is bigger than we thought. I turn to Maya and her brother, still lying in the bed, unconscious and hooked up to and for. We're going to finish this, I tell her softly. I promise you, no one else is going to get hurt. But I can feel the weight of the responsibility on my shoulders. We're not just fighting for these kids anymore. We're fighting against something much more dangerous. And if we don't get ahead of this, it won't just be Maya and her brother in danger. It'll be everyone. The room feels heavy with silence as I turn to leave, my mind racing with the new information. We've got a long road ahead, I mutter under my breath. I step outside the room and pull out my phone again. There's a message from Bonds. We've got an address for Donovan's safe house. It's in the industrial district, but it's guarded. You'll need backup. I look at the message, then at my crew. This is it, I say, my voice sharp. Get ready. We're going after them. The bikers move quickly, their determination clear in their eyes. We all know the stakes now, and we're not backing down. The sun is fully up now, but it feels like the night has only just begun. There's no turning back. We head for the motorcycles, ready to take on whatever comes next. Maya's safe for now, but I can feel the darkness closing in, and we're the only ones who can stop it. I can feel the tension in the air as the bikers rev their engines, preparing to move out. The adrenaline is still flowing through my veins, but the weight of the situation is heavier than ever. We're heading straight for the industrial district, where Donovan's safe house is located. The address we got from Bonds is just a starting point. We have no idea how many people are guarding it or what we're walking into. The sun is setting, casting long shadows over the city as we speed down the highway. The rumble of the motorcycles is like a thunderstorm approaching, but the city around us is quiet. Too quiet. I glance over at the others, each one of them focused, their eyes sharp. We've all been through hell together, but this time feels different. This time, it's not just about justice for one or two people. This is about stopping a much larger operation that's been hurting innocent people. The girl, Maya, and her brother are safe for now, but I know that won't last long if we don't take action. We can't just take down Donovan and his crew. We need to dismantle the entire network. It's bigger than we ever imagined. As we turn onto a narrow road leading to the industrial district, my mind races. We've got no backup, no reinforcements. It's just us, the bikers, and the promise we made to protect these kids. The safe house is a few blocks ahead, a nondescript building with metal doors and no windows, the kind of place where bad things happen. We pull up to a stop a block away, the sound of our engines dying down as we coast into position. I glance around at the crew. Stay low, I say quietly. We move in fast. No mistakes. The bikers nod, their faces grim but resolute. We're ready. We've been preparing for this moment for days, and now it's time to act. We dismount quickly, parking our bikes in a way that covers all escape routes. No one's getting out of here without us knowing. The night has fallen completely now, and the shadows are our allies. I motion for the others to follow me as we move toward the building. The closer we get, the more I can feel the weight of the danger. This isn't just about saving Maya's brother anymore. This is about stopping these people from doing the same thing to others. We reach the entrance of the safe house, a steel door with no signs of life around it. I give the signal to the crew, and we move in. The door is locked, but it doesn't matter. We've come prepared. One of the bikers, a tall, quiet man named Colt, steps forward with a crowbar. In a single motion, he pries open the door, and we slip inside. The air inside is thick with dust and stale air, the kind of place that hasn't seen the light of day in years. We move carefully, our boots making no sound on the concrete floor. Every sense is heightened. We've been in situations like this before, but something about tonight feels different. As we move deeper into the building, we can hear the faint sounds of people talking. The voices are low, muffled, but they're definitely there. We're getting close. I gesture to the team to split up and surround the area. We can't afford to be caught off guard. I move toward the hallway on the left, my eyes scanning every corner, every shadow. It's quiet now, too quiet. I push forward, my heart racing. Suddenly, I hear a sound, a door opening, and I freeze. I look back at the team, and we all converge on the sound. We move in silently, each of us in position, ready to strike. I signal to Colt, who's closest, and he moves forward, opening the door with a swift motion. Inside, We see two men sitting at a table, papers scattered in front of them, completely unaware of what's about to hit them. Hands in the air. I say, my voice low but commanding. The men jump up, startled, but they're too slow. One of them reaches for a gun on the table, but I'm faster. Before he can get a shot off, I'm on him, grabbing his wrist and slamming him back into the wall. The other man freezes, his eyes wide with fear. Donovan's not here, he stammers. He's not. We're not here for Donovan. I cut him off. We're here to stop you. The room is tense, the air thick with the fear of being caught. I look at the rest of the bikers, and they nod. This isn't just about these two men. This is about the whole operation. We need answers, and we need them now. I can see the fear in the men's eyes as we move forward. They know they're trapped, and they know what happens when you mess with the wrong people. Start talking, I say, keeping my voice steady. Who else is involved? Where's Donovan? What's the plan? The man I have pinned against the wall swallows hard, his hands shaking. He knows he's out of options. I don't know where he is, he admits, his voice cracking. He was supposed to meet with someone higher up, tonight. Higher up? I ask, my curiosity piqued. Who? He looks at the floor, clearly scared, but then he looks back up at me. I don't know his name, he says, his voice barely above a whisper. But I know he's the one pulling the strings. Donovan's just a middleman. The real guy is much more dangerous. I exchange a look with the crew. This is bigger than Donovan. There's someone else involved, someone who's been operating in the shadows, and we need to find out who before it's too late. I know we're close, but I also know that the biggest danger is still ahead of us. I can feel the weight of the moment pressing down on me. The answers we just got from the two men in the safe house have only raised more questions. The man we're after is someone who's been pulling strings behind the scenes, and Donovan was just a pawn in a much larger game. I stand there in the dimly lit room, processing what's just been revealed. The other bikers are scattered around the room, checking the area for anything useful. The air is thick with tension as we try to figure out what our next move is. We need to find out who this person is, I say, turning to the crew. They're the key to this whole thing. If we find them, we find the rest of the operation. The bikers nod, their faces grim but resolute. We know what we're up against now. This isn't just about rescuing a couple of kids. This is about taking down a dangerous network that's been preying on innocent people. The stakes have never been higher. I'll keep digging, says Colt, the silent biker who had pried open the door to the safe house earlier. I've got some contacts in the underworld who can help us track down the higher-ups. But we're going to have to move quickly. This thing's bigger than we thought. Good, I reply, already formulating a plan. We don't have time to waste. We need to find this guy and shut down the operation before it spirals out of control. As the bikers head off to follow their leads, I stand still for a moment, thinking about the girl, Maya, and her brother. They're safe for now, but there's no guarantee that will last. These people don't just give up. I walk out of the building, my mind racing. We're not done yet. We still have one last piece of the puzzle to find. The night is getting colder, but I can feel the fire in my chest heating up. I'm not walking away from this. Not until we finish what we started. I pull out my phone and dial the number for Bonds. He answers on the first ring. Got anything yet? I ask. Nothing concrete, Bonds says, his voice steady. But I've got a hunch. I think I know who this guy is. And I think he's been hiding in plain sight for years. Who? I ask, my curiosity piqued. I can't say for sure yet, Bonds replies. But I've got someone who can help us. Someone who's worked with him in the past. They're in the city, and they're willing to talk. But we have to move fast. If we don't get to them first, we might lose the lead. I feel the knot in my stomach tighten. This is it. This is the break we've been waiting for. Where are they? I ask, already making plans in my head. Meet me at the old warehouse on 5th, Bonds says. It's about a mile from where you are. I'll meet you there. Got it, I say. We'll be there in 10. I hang up the phone and motion for the crew to follow me. We don't have much time. The warehouse is a few blocks away, and I can feel the urgency in the air as we ride toward it. Every second counts now. The city feels different tonight, as if everything is on the edge of tipping over. I know we're close to finding the answers we need, but I also know that danger is lurking around every corner. We pull up to the warehouse, and I can see Bond's car parked in the lot. I park my bike and head inside, the others following closely behind. Inside, the space is dimly lit, the smell of rust and old metal filling the air. Bonds is waiting for us by the back door. You're just in time, he says, his expression grim. We've got a lead, and it's a big one. What have you got? I ask, my mind racing. Her name is Tina, Bonds says. She's been working with the guy we're after. She knows everything about the operation. But she's scared. She doesn't want to talk unless we can guarantee her safety. We can handle that, I say firmly. Where is she? She's here, Bonds replies, motioning toward a small office in the back. She's waiting for you. But be careful. She's been through a lot, and she's not going to trust us easily. I nod, understanding the stakes. This could be our only shot at getting the information we need. I walk toward the office, my boots echoing in the empty space. I push the door open slowly, and there she is. Tina. She's sitting in the corner, her eyes wide with fear, but there's a look of relief in them too, as if she knows that she's finally going to get out of this alive. Tina, I say softly, walking toward her. We're here to help. She looks up at me, her face pale, her voice shaky. I don't want to be here, she says, her hands trembling. But I don't have anywhere else to go. Please, you have to protect me. I nod, taking a seat across from her. We're going to get you out of here, I say, my voice calm, but firm. But we need you to tell us everything you know about the operation. Every detail. It's the only way we can stop them. Tina looks down at her hands, her fingers twisting nervously. For a long moment, the room is silent. Finally, she looks up at me, her eyes filled with fear, but also a glimmer of hope. I'll tell you everything, she says quietly. I watch Tina closely as she gathers her thoughts. The tension in the room is thick, the kind that makes every second feel like an eternity. The silence weighs heavy between us, but I know it's necessary. She's been through more than any person should ever have to endure, and now, she's our only lead to ending this nightmare. After a long pause, Tina finally speaks, her voice low and steady, but filled with the weight of the truth she's about to share. It started small, she begins, looking at the floor as if the words are too heavy to say. Donovan's crew, they used to just run the streets, petty stuff, drugs, weapons. But then they got into something bigger, something much darker. They started trafficking kids, taking them, selling them. They didn't care who they hurt. They never cared. My heart clenches, anger surging through me as I listen to her. I want to cut her off, but I stay quiet, knowing this is the only way we're going to get the answers we need. Donovan's the one who organized it all, she continues, her voice trembling now. But there's someone else. Someone higher up. I never met him, but Donovan talked about him all the time. He's the one pulling the strings. I lean forward, my eyes narrowing. Who is he? Do you know his name? Tina shakes her head, looking defeated. No, I never heard his name, but I heard them talk about him once. He's got connections everywhere. Police, politicians, even some of the bigger gangs. I don't know how deep it goes, but he's the one who gets the kids, and Donovan does the dirty work. They take them, keep them hidden until they can sell them to the highest bidder. I feel a cold rage building inside me, but I keep my voice steady. Where are they keeping the kids now? Do you know where they're hiding? Tina looks up at me, her eyes wide with fear. I don't know for sure, she says, her voice barely a whisper. But I overheard them talking once. There's a place out in the woods. It's a cabin, secluded. I think that's where they take them, at least the ones they don't sell right away. My mind races, the pieces of the puzzle starting to fall into place. The place in the woods. It makes sense. It's isolated, out of sight. A perfect place to hide something this sinister. I turn to the crew, who have been standing quietly by, waiting for this moment. We're going there. Now, I say, my voice hard with determination. We end this tonight. As we prepare to move out, I feel the weight of the situation settling in. This isn't just about finding Donovan and taking him down. This is about stopping a larger, more dangerous network. We're not just fighting for 1 or 2 kids anymore. We're fighting to save every child caught in this hellhole. We don't have much time. The sun is setting, and the longer we wait, the harder it's going to be to get in and out without being noticed. Tina is still sitting there, her hands wringing together nervously. Please, she says, her voice shaking. You have to stop them. They'll kill me if they find out I told you. Please, don't let them hurt anyone else. Her plea hits me harder than I expect, and for a moment, I feel the weight of the responsibility that's been placed on my shoulders. But I can't hesitate. Not now. Not when we're so close to ending this. You're safe now, I tell her, my voice firm. We're not letting them hurt anyone else. You're going to be okay. I turn to the rest of the bikers, nodding toward the door. Let's move. The night is dark now, the streets eerily quiet as we make our way to the bikes. The weight of what we're about to do is on all of our minds, but none of us says anything. We don't need to. We've all been through too much together to need words. The engines roar to life as we hit the road, speeding toward the woods where the cabin is hidden. The sound of the engines is deafening, a warning to anyone who's paying attention that we're coming. The air grows colder the further we go, the trees getting thicker and more oppressive as we approach the edge of the woods. The cabin is out there, waiting. And so are the people who've been hurting kids like Maya and her brother. We can't let them get away. The road is narrow, and the trees are dense, blocking out much of the moonlight, but we're used to this. The bikers know how to move through the dark. We make it to the cabin in silence, the only sound the crunch of gravel beneath our tires. As we get closer, I can see the outline of the building through the trees. It's small, isolated, and looks like it hasn't been touched in years. Perfect for hiding something. I motion for the bikers to spread out. We need to move fast, but we can't afford to miss anything. I feel the adrenaline surge through my veins as I draw closer. This is it. We're about to take down the heart of the operation. We won't stop until every last one of these bastards is behind bars. The air is thick with anticipation as we approach the cabin, and I know there's no turning back now. We've come too far, and tonight it ends. I can hear the crunch of gravel under our boots as we move closer to the cabin, the trees around us blocking out most of the light. The tension is thick, almost suffocating, but we can't afford to hesitate now. This is the moment we've been preparing for. The last piece of this nightmare is within reach. We've already come too far to turn back. I motion to the bikers to spread out, keeping quiet as we approach the cabin. The place looks like it hasn't been touched in years. Old, abandoned, and perfect for hiding anything. The windows are dark, and the door looks like it's been left ajar. I feel a cold shiver run down my spine, but I push it aside. We can't afford fear right now. I take the lead, stepping cautiously toward the door, my boots crunching softly against the gravel. The others follow, but there's no sound, just the heavy breath of anticipation in the air. As we get closer, I can see the faint outline of movement inside the cabin. Shadows shift across the walls. It's like a nightmare, a haunting sense that whatever's inside has been waiting for us. My heart starts to pound harder. This is it. We're about to face whatever evil has been hiding here. I motion for Colt to stay behind me, ready to make the first move. The door creaks softly as I push it open, careful not to make a sound. The smell of mildew and old wood hits me first, but there's something else, something worse. It's the smell of fear. Inside, it's darker than I expected. A single light flickers overhead, casting long shadows on the walls. The cabin looks abandoned, but the air is thick with tension. I signal to the bikers, and we move in, silent as ghosts. We make our way through the narrow hallway, our footsteps muffled by the old wooden floors. My mind is racing, every sense on high alert. I can feel it. We're close. As we reach the back of the cabin, I see a door leading into a room. There's no sound coming from it, but I can feel the weight of something waiting behind that door. We stop just outside. I glance back at the crew. Everyone's ready. This is it. I reach for the door handle, pushing it open slowly, the hinges groaning under the pressure. The room inside is dark, but I can make out the shape of a man standing in the corner, his back to us. He doesn't move. He doesn't speak. I step forward, my hand on the grip of my gun. Donovan, I say, my voice calm but sharp. The man doesn't react at first. He just stands there, staring at the wall in front of him. Then, slowly, he turns around. His face is cold, lifeless. He's not surprised to see us. He knew we were coming. I was wondering when you'd show up, he says, his voice smooth and confident. It's the voice of someone who thinks they're untouchable. You've caused me a lot of trouble, Jack, he adds, stepping forward, his eyes locking with mine. But you've made a mistake. You should have just stayed out of this. I don't flinch. This ends tonight, I say. You and your crew are going down. All of you. Donovan laughs, a low, mocking sound. You really think you can stop me? He says, his voice dripping with arrogance. You're too late. This operation is bigger than you know, and you're already too far in to back out. Now, I don't let his words rattle me. I've heard it all before. He's just a scared man trying to play the power card. Where's the rest of your crew? I ask. Where are the kids? Donovan just smiles, that same arrogant smile. You think I'm going to tell you anything? He sneers. You don't even know who you're dealing with. That's when it hits me, the missing piece. The man we've been after, the one pulling the strings, it's not just Donovan. He's just a face. There's someone else, someone even bigger. Who's the man behind all of this? I ask, my voice low. Donovan looks at me, his expression hardening. You'll never find him, he spits. He's untouchable. I take a step forward, my eyes locked on his. Where is he? I demand again. But Donovan doesn't answer. Instead, he takes a step back, a glint of something dark in his eyes. Then, out of nowhere, the sound of footsteps rushing toward the door behind him catches our attention. It's too late. More of Donovan's men burst into the room, guns drawn. The tension breaks into a violent roar as we're surrounded. I draw my weapon, but before I can react, there's a sharp voice from the other side of the room. Enough. It's a woman's voice, firm and commanding. Everyone freezes. The newcomers stop dead in their tracks, turning their attention toward her. Donovan, too, looks surprised. The woman steps into the light, revealing herself as a tall, imposing figure. What the hell is this? Donovan asks, clearly stunned. The woman just smirks. Your last mistake, she says. She looks at us, her eyes sharp. You thought you were the only ones hunting down the network. But you're not. We've been tracking you too. I can see the confusion on Donovan's face. He clearly didn't expect this. Who the hell are you? He demands. The woman steps closer. Someone you don't want to mess with, she says, her voice calm but filled with authority. And you, Donovan, are done. The tension in the room rises as the woman steps forward, her presence commanding immediate attention. For a moment, no one moves. Donovan is caught off guard, his eyes narrowing in disbelief. He clearly didn't expect anyone to challenge his authority, let alone someone who seems to be just as dangerous as he is. The air feels thick, the moment hanging on the edge of something big. The bikers are on high alert, weapons ready, and I'm right there with them, my eyes locked on this new player in the game. Who the hell are you? Donovan's voice is low, but there's a tremor of uncertainty in it that he's trying to hide. The woman doesn't flinch. She just smirks. I'm the one who's going to end this, she says, her voice calm but deadly. The words send a chill down my spine. This isn't just about Donovan anymore. This is something bigger than we thought. She steps closer, not in a hurry, but with a confidence that speaks volumes. The men who came in with her hesitate, unsure whether to move in or stay back. It's clear they know who she is, and it's not the first time they've seen her in action. The tension in the room breaks as she speaks again, her eyes scanning each of us. You've done your part, she says, directing her words to me and the crew. But this ends tonight. All of you need to go. Now. I can feel the anger bubbling inside me. Who does she think she is? But I keep my cool. I'm not leaving. I reply firmly. We're here to finish what we started. She raises an eyebrow, clearly sizing me up. I don't think you understand, she says, her tone soft but sharp. You've been hunting the wrong people. Donovan may be your target, but he's just a small part of the picture. You've walked right into the middle of something you don't understand. Her words hit me like a slap in the face. This isn't just about taking down Donovan anymore. This is bigger. She steps closer, her gaze never leaving mine. You're out of your depth, she adds, her voice colder now. You think you're saving those kids, but you're not. You've only been playing into their hands. The ones really in charge? They've been watching you. And now, they want to finish what they started. I feel a knot tighten in my chest. My instincts scream at me that we're on the edge of something dangerous. I look at my crew. We've been through too much to back down now, but I can't ignore the feeling that this woman knows more than we do. I take a deep breath, forcing my anger. Back down. Who are you working for? I ask, trying to keep my voice steady. She smiles, a cold, calculating smile. That's not important, she says. What matters is that you're in the way. You've been in the way from the start. And now, it's time for you to leave. Donovan, still standing there in stunned silence, finally finds his voice. You can't be serious, he says, his eyes darting between the woman and us. You're going to let them walk away after everything? The woman turns her attention to him, her expression hardening. I'm not here for you, she says coldly. I'm here to clean up your mess. The finality in her voice sends a chill through the room. There's no arguing with her. She's in control now. I feel the tension in the air shift. It's not just Donovan who's in trouble now. It's us too. I can see the writing on the wall. She's not going to let us walk away from this without a price. I need to make a decision. We're not leaving. I say again, this time more forcefully. We've come too far to turn back now. The woman's eyes narrow, but she doesn't back down. Then you'll regret it, she replies, her voice low and dangerous. I've given you a chance to walk away. Don't make me force you. I know we can't back down. This is the moment we've been building up to. The woman isn't just some hired gun. She's part of something bigger, and I can feel the weight of her words pressing down on me. This isn't over. It's only just begun. The bikers around me are tense, but ready. We've been through hell together, and we're not going to let anyone stand in our way now. We've made a promise to the kids, to everyone we've lost along the way, and we're not backing down. We'll see about that. I say, my voice steady and firm. The woman doesn't flinch. Very well, she says softly. You've made your choice. With that, she signals to her men. The room goes tense as they begin to move, circling us, positioning themselves like a pack of wolves. The stakes have never been higher, and I know there's no way out of this now. This is it. The final battle. But I'm not backing down. Not now. Not ever. I feel the air thickening with every passing second as the bikers and the woman's men face off, the tension growing by the minute. I can see the cold determination in the eyes of the woman who's orchestrating this moment. She's not just here to stop us. She's here to take control of the entire operation, and she's not going to let anyone get in her way. I glance at my crew, their faces as serious as mine, ready for whatever comes next. We've been through too much to back down now. The stakes are too high. I look back at the woman, who's still standing there, her eyes never leaving mine. She's not backing down either. She knows what she wants, and she's prepared to do anything to get it. I take a step forward, matching her gaze. We didn't come this far to be stopped now, I say, my voice steady, unwavering. We finish what we started. Her lips curl into a tight smile, but there's no humor in it. You should have stayed out of this, Jack, she says, her voice almost a whisper. You're in over your head. I don't flinch. Maybe, I reply, but I'm not walking away until this is over. The atmosphere is tense, the kind of stillness that comes before a storm. We're standing at the edge of something big, and I know that whatever happens next is going to change everything. I turn to my crew, silently giving the signal. We're not here to make deals, not here to negotiate. We're here to put an end to this. The woman sees the change in our posture, the shift in our eyes. She knows we're not backing down, and that's when things escalate. Her men move in, stepping closer, tightening the circle around us. I'm not surprised. She's not here to play nice. The first man lunges forward, and I react without thinking. I dodge to the side, feeling the rush of adrenaline take over as I slam my fist into his side, knocking him off balance. It's fast, brutal, and exactly what I expected. The rest of the crew moves in immediately, each one of them dealing with the men in their own way, swift, efficient, and ruthless. The room erupts into chaos. Fists are flying. The sound of grunts and the thud of bodies hitting the floor fill the air. I keep my focus on the woman, never taking my eyes off her. She's still standing there, watching, a cold smirk on her lips. She's not afraid. I can see that now. She's enjoying this, enjoying the chaos she's created. But I won't let her win. I move toward her, my feet pounding the floor as I close the distance between us. She doesn't flinch, doesn't even move. You're going to pay for this, I say, my voice low and threatening. She raises an eyebrow, unfazed. You're not the one in control here, Jack, she replies, her voice almost bored. But I can see the flicker of doubt in her eyes. She knows she's losing control. The bikers have taken down most of her men, and she's running out of options. Where is he? I demand, my fists clenched at my sides. Where's the one behind all of this? The one pulling the strings. Her smile fades slightly, but she doesn't answer. I step closer, my voice getting louder. Tell me. She hesitates, just for a moment, and that's when I see it, the slightest flicker of fear in her eyes. You won't find him, she says finally, her voice quieter now. He's gone. He's always one step ahead. But I don't believe her. Where is he? I ask again, my tone demanding. She looks away for a moment, and when she meets my gaze again, she's no longer smiling. You really think you can stop him? She asks, her voice heavy with disbelief. You think you're the first to try? I don't answer her. Instead, I step closer, close enough now that she can feel the heat of my anger. Where is he? I say one last time. She looks at me, and for the first time, I see a crack in her composure. You can't stop him, she says again, this time with a tinge of desperation in her voice. But I can tell you one thing. He's not here anymore. He's already moved on. And now, it's your turn to pay. The words hit me like a punch to the gut. My mind races. If she's telling the truth, we're too late. But I can't let that be the end. Not when we're so close. I grab her by the arm, my grip tight, and I pull her closer. Tell me everything, I demand. She's silent for a moment, and then, almost reluctantly, she speaks. He's in the city. He's been moving around, staying one step ahead, but he's preparing for something bigger. I don't know what it is, but I know it's coming. I hold her gaze, trying to read the truth in her eyes. There's a moment of silence, and then I let her go. She doesn't make a move to run. You'll never catch him, she says softly, but I don't believe her. I can't. We're not done yet. We've come too far to back down now. I turn to the crew. We need to find him. Now, I say, my voice filled with resolve. We've lost time, but we're not finished yet. This is bigger than Donovan, bigger than anyone imagined. And we're going to bring him down, no matter what it takes. The weight of the moment presses down on me as I stand there, staring at the woman who's just given us the last piece of the puzzle. We're close now, but it feels like we're running out of time. The man we've been chasing, the one behind it all, is still out there. He's always been one step ahead, and I can feel it in my bones. We're racing against the clock. But there's no turning back now. We've already come too far, and I'm not about to stop until we bring this to an end. I turn to my crew, my voice steady but filled with urgency. We've got our lead, I say, my eyes scanning the room. He's still in the city, and we're not wasting any more time. We're going after him tonight. The bikers nod in agreement, their faces set with determination. They know what this means. This isn't just about a group of criminals anymore. This is about a network, a dangerous operation that's been tearing lives apart for far too long. And we're the only ones who can stop it. We quickly mount our bikes and rev the engines, the familiar roar of the motorcycles filling the air. The city streets are quiet, but there's an undercurrent of tension in the air. We're not just looking for anyone anymore. We're looking for the one who's been pulling the strings, the one responsible for everything. The woman's words still echo in my mind. He's been preparing for something bigger. That's what I can't shake. What is it? What's his next move? I push the thought aside as we speed through the streets, the cool night air rushing past us. I can feel the adrenaline coursing through my veins, every muscle primed for action. We reach the part of the city where it's all going down. The old warehouse district. It's a maze of decaying buildings, empty lots, and shadowy corners. Perfect for hiding. But not for long. We stop a block away from the largest warehouse, its metal doors shut tight. I can already tell this is the place. Everything about it screams danger, but we're prepared. We've been preparing for this moment for days. I look at my crew, all of us in full gear, eyes sharp and ready for anything. We've faced danger before, but this feels different. The stakes have never been higher. I nod to Colt, who's always been the first to move. He steps forward, silently signaling the rest of us to follow. We move like a well-oiled machine, silent and swift, taking position around the warehouse. The building looms in front of us, dark and imposing. I can feel my heart pounding in my chest. This is it. This is where it ends. We've come too far to back down now. Colt motions for us to move in, and we surround the entrance. There's no time for subtlety now. We're here to take it all down. I step forward, my hand on the door handle, ready to open it. But then, I hear it. A voice from inside, low and steady. I've been expecting you. My heart skips a beat. We've been made. I push the door open slowly, stepping inside, my eyes scanning the dark room. It's silent, except for the soft hum of machinery in the distance. And then, there he is. The man we've been chasing. He's standing in the center of the room, his back to us, his hands folded in front of him like he's been waiting for this moment his entire life. He turns slowly, and when he sees me, there's no surprise in his eyes. Just calm, cold confidence. You must be Jack, he says, his voice smooth, almost mocking. I've heard a lot about you. I don't say anything. I'm not here to exchange pleasantries. I step forward, my voice hard and direct. You've been running things from the shadows for too long. This ends tonight. He just smiles, a chilling, arrogant smile. You think you're the first to try and stop me? He asks, his voice dripping with disdain. You're nothing. Just another pawn in the game. My fists clench, but I don't let my anger get the best of me. You're going down, I say, my voice steady. All of you. He steps closer, his eyes narrowing. You have no idea what you're dealing with, he says, his voice low but filled with menace. You think this is just about me? You think you can stop the network I've built? You're too late. You'll never win. The room feels smaller now, the walls closing in. My mind races. He's not just a criminal. He's a leader, a mastermind, and he's been planning for this moment. But I can't let fear take hold. We've come too far to back down. I don't care who you think you are, I reply, my voice cutting through the tension. You've hurt too many people. And now it's over. The man smirks, but I can see the doubt in his eyes. He knows this is the end. We're not walking away this time. The final showdown is here, and we're ready. I glance at my crew, who are moving in to flank the man, their faces determined. This is it. This is the moment we've been building toward. The network that's caused so much pain and destruction is about to crumble. And we're the ones who are going to bring it down.